Hi everyone, today I'm going to make some frozen butter hot dog buns. We're also going to do a review of the rotary cheese grater, which is also a frozen butter grater. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes, other cooking ideas. All of these things have helped me to lose over 130 pounds. If you're new here, I hope you check out some of those resources, my other videos, my website, and follow along on my journey to get to my goal weight. For those of you returning, welcome back. I hope you liked today's video. Okay, so as you can probably see here, I have two of these lovely rotary graters. You can grate a lot of things with them, and a lot of people do salads, and you can do cheese, of course. My interest in this is to grate frozen butter. It does an excellent job at the frozen butter, what makes it a real mess with the box grater. It's still possible to do it with the box grater, but this just makes it so much easier. So I'm just gonna go through. Well, first of all, let me tell you why I have two. Snugglepuss sent me one a while back, and that's the one I've been using. And also, right around the same time, I was offered one by the company who makes it, Geedel. I don't know, maybe it's Geedel, I'm not sure. It's either Geedel or Geedel. They make all kinds of things like mandolin, or those mandolin slicers, and other handy kitchen tools. So I thought, since it's been a while actually since I've made some buns, and I thought since I really wanted to have some hot dog buns, this would be a good time to talk about this and why I like it and some of the features of it, and thank Geedel for sending it to me. And I will be figuring out, what to do with the extra one. Maybe it's going to be a giveaway or a Christmas present. This would actually make an amazing Christmas present for any of you that are thinking of what can I get, my daughter or my sister, or someone in the kitchen who loves gadgets. So I'm going to put the Amazon link below so that you can check it out, and maybe you can send one to somebody. So I have a lovely red one, which I'm so happy about because we do like the red accents here in this kitchen. I'm just going to get this one out of the way. So it comes with, not that, here's everything it comes with. So it comes with the base. Now the base is kind of cool because you can turn this little crank and it then sticks to your countertop. And that makes it more stable. So I'm just going to loosen that. I'll be using this in a moment. Here's the, I don't know what you call this, the thing where you put the cheese, the cheese in, or the butter. Hopper. Hopper. It's called a hopper. Okay, thank you. Thank you, camera crew. This is a thing I use all the time. This is for cheese and for butter. Like you could grate carrots, you could do all kinds of things with that. And the smaller one is like for nuts and things where you want a finer powder, I guess. And actually, I had an idea while I was unpacking all this. I do have a video where I show 3 different ways to make your own pork rind crumbs. And I have a feeling this might work for that too. It might be a 4th way to do it. So I'm actually going to test that in a moment. And here's for your big slices, like if you're making sliced cucumbers or coleslaw, this will help you do that. And I'm just going to see if there's any more ideas. Oh yeah, you can see here they made a nice cucumber salad. I grew up on cucumber salad. It was a German thing with sour cream. This would have been perfect for that. So so here we go. This one, cucumber, zucchini, radishes are some ideas that it gives. This one, cheese, carrots, squash, frozen butter. And this one, nuts, biscuits, chocolate, maybe pork rinds. We're gonna see in a moment. So those are the 3 different ones that it comes with. One of the things I like about it is that not this piece, but all these other pieces here, the ones that get dirty, they just go in the top rack of your dishwasher. So it's very easy to clean. The other thing I like about it is that with the box grater, I have scraped my knuckles many times, and so there's no pain with this either. So let's, because I'm going to make buns, I'm going to need some frozen butter. So I'm going to grab that, and we're going to do that first before I mix up the dough or the batter for the butter. But first I want to try my little experiment with the pork rinds. So I'm just going to go grab some pork rinds. So let's see if this is going to work. Okay. This is for pushing down, you know, once you have which one you're going to use. I kind of think for pork rinds that this one is going to be the one. I mean, I didn't even have to look at the instructions. It kind of was self-evident how to put it together. See, I'm just going to do that. Usually,
I'm not usually very mechanically inclined.
I have to study instruction booklets to figure these things out, but this one just kind of happened. So let me see. I better get a bowl. If this works, it would be, you know, another good use for this thing. But if not, it's okay. I've got 3 other ways. I'll link that video below. Let's just try it with a few because I don't actually need any right now. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, here we go. More pork rinds. Oh, I love it, actually. Look at these. You know, one of the things with doing the pork rinds, when you use like your, what are the ways? Like I had a rolling pin method, my blender. Look how fine those crumbs are. They're actually perfect. They're like the panko ones that you buy. Yet another thing. So I would say, yes, this is a win for pork rinds. So now let me just take this apart so that I can get all those pork rinds out of there before I do my, you release the handle with this. I'm just going to show you. There's a little button here, and you just press it down to release the handle. There we go. And now we're just going to shake that off. Okay, so we've got all the pork rinds. This will go in the top rack of your dishwasher. So I will put that there. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in I have a pork rind crumb jar in the fridge, so I'll just dump this in there later. But yeah, I kind of like the consistency of that. And I am going to go and get the frozen butter. Okay, so the buns I'm making today are my BBBE buns, but I'm doing a couple of tweaks. These tweaks are on my website. If you print out the recipe card, I'll put the link below. I'm adding half a stick of butter, which is 4 tablespoons of butter or 2 ounces by weight. So it's either going to be 2 ounces, 60 grams. And we are going to put this one in. So what I'm going to do is grate this half a stick of frozen butter, and then I'm going to put it back into the freezer until I'm ready to put it in the mix. Because if it sits out, it will definitely melt while we're waiting here. Oh, yes, and this is where it's handy to have this thing. So we're we're just going to try to get the rest of those out of there. And I mean, a few are going to stick. This is, again, going into the top of the dishwasher.
My hands are slippery.
Just get these last few pieces out and top of the dishwasher. So the rest of this stays clean. I mean, and if you did get some, well, that goes in the dishwasher as well. But if you did get some on the base, it's so easy to just clean it. But there you go. So I love the way it sticks to the counter. That's kind of my favorite part. And I didn't even know that at first. I did my first couple without it. So we have our frozen butter. It's going into the freezer, and then I'm going to go over all the other ingredients. Okay, I have everything here. Let's go over what is in this recipe. And like I said, you can print out the card below. So you can either separate 6 eggs and use 6 whites, 3 yolks, and then find something else to do with the whites. Or you can separate 3 eggs supplemented with carton egg whites. That's what I usually do, because then I don't have to worry about breaking 6 eggs and using those whites up. So that's what I'm going to do, but let me go through the rest of the ingredients. We will be using egg white powder, 42 grams, which is about 1.5 ounces. That's in the recipe card. We are going to use bone broth powder, beef bone broth powder. Now, there are some things you can substitute if you don't have that, and I sort of made a little list here. Someone in my group, they substitute beef protein isolate for this, so that's one. You can also instead use some keto chow, half a package of beef keto chow. You can also use 2 scoops of collagen. And that may vary depending on what your collagen is, but I believe it's usually about 10 grams per scoop, so about 20 grams of collagen. You can also substitute 2 tablespoons of beef gelatin. So there's different things. I like this the best. I've never tried the beef protein isolate because I just don't have any. So this is what I'm going to use today. But I'm also going to add a tablespoon of gelatin just for a little more softness, and I think it holds them together nicely. Redmond salt is something I like to use. A 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon works. And the butter, of course, which is in the freezer. Other optional ingredients are, if you live in an area where you have trouble whipping up the whites, cream of tartar, like a 1/4 teaspoon in with your egg whites. If you want a little more body and for it to have just a more bread-like texture, guar gum is something you can add. Today, because I'm making hot dog buns and I want to make them really high and big, today I'm going to add 1 teaspoon. A lot of people add 2 teaspoons, but I'm going to see if I can get away with 1. The other thing I want to mention is I've had people say that it doesn't whip up with their bone broth powder. Check the label, because apparently there's beef bone broth powder out there, and maybe the now sports people have changed their formula. I've had this one for a while. It has 0 grams of fat. If there's fat, any fat in your bone broth powder, it could cause your egg whites to not whip up if you're mixing it all together at the beginning. It doesn't mean you can't use it. If it has fat in it, add it after your egg whites are whipped up. Don't add it before. So that's just that one caveat. Okay, so that is everything that's in here, and I am now going to measure out the dry ingredients first. So I want to have 42 grams of the egg white powder, And 30 grams of the bone broth powder, which should be a scoop. That's what it says on here, but you know, sometimes it's not. It's not. I'm going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon Redmond's and 1 tablespoon of gelatin and 1 teaspoon of the guar gum. Now, if you're doing BBBE, skip the guar gum. Everything else here is BBBE compliant, except possibly, I guess not the cream of tartar, but again, I never use the cream of tartar, so it's probably not necessary, depending on where you live. Okay, so there's our dry ingredients. Okay, I'm gonna do the eggs now. So now that I have my 3 egg whites and my 3 egg yolks, I'm going to top it up. It's usually 200 milliliters, I should say, for the egg whites and 3 yolks. I have my oven preset to 325, or preheating to 325. While the egg whites are beating up, I'm just going to slowly add the dry ingredients. It can be added in the beginning as long as there's no fat, or you can add it at the end like I am. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm just going to scrape the sides a bit, then put the mixer on slow, like on the first or second setting, and add in my 3 egg yolks. And that will also, right after that, I will add in the frozen butter too. So I'm just gonna get that.
So don't forget, like last time.
Okay. The 3 yolks are in, and now the frozen butter. By the way, the frozen butter, this is what I learned off Indigo Neely's channel. She does all kinds of good buns and breads. Using frozen butter, it just gives a total new texture, so be sure you go check out. If you really like good breads, go check that out. I can't do a lot of the ingredients, so I have to stick to my, you know, bare bones recipes here. I think we're good there, and I'm just going to do one final little mix. All right. And the oven is ready. Okay. Now I'm going to pile them in. Now the bun molds look tiny. They look like, when I first got it, I thought, oh, it's got to be wrong. But I have made some good hot dog buns in here. Today I want to try to pile it as high as I can to make them a really good size. And that's why I added the guar gum, 1 teaspoon, because I think that will help. It's made the dough a little bit stickier. So the only thing is, it might be too much dough for 6, but we'll see. I'll pile them a bit higher when I get there. I'm really hoping for some big fluffy buns here. Okay, that actually worked out pretty good as far as amount. I'm gonna have a few dishes to do later. I'm putting these in the oven. I'm going to, usually I make the buns, I'm usually making 9 buns, so they're smaller, and I go for 15 minutes and then I brush them. I'm gonna go for 20 minutes today because these are bigger. So we will see you in the next segment when we pull out the buns. Okay, these have been in for about 20 minutes. I just want to put some butter on them and a little bit of garlic salt just to give the tops some flavor. And then they're going to go back in. Just for a couple more minutes, like maybe 4 or 5 minutes to brown. This was 1 tablespoon butter, so it seems to be about right for these 6 large hot dog buns. And I'm using Redmond's garlic salt to sprinkle on there. It just gives it a little bit more flavor. Okay, I'm gonna pop them in for 3 minutes. Okay, look at these buns. I'm going to give them a few moments to cool off. There is a little bit of butter at the bottom of the pan, and I knew that would happen. If you put them in a silicone pan, the butter will all stay within the bun, but you will get some leakage in here. I just like this hot dog bun shape, so I went with that. While those are cooling off, I just want to talk about a couple of other things. So when I made these crumbs, I said that I was going to put them in my jar of crumbs in the fridge, and I was blown away by how close in consistency it is. As you know, this is pretty expensive stuff. And, you know, but I like it because it's got such a fine consistency. It's really good for recipes. But this made an identical consistency. So I'm really impressed with it. I never would have thought to use this on something like that, but I'm pretty impressed with that. So I think that is something that maybe a lot of you who already have this, you might not realize that you can get some you know, pork panko crumbs, really nice ones, by using your grater. So there you go, something new. And yeah, like I said, makes a good gift. So check it out on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you about the macros now. Okay, so what are the macros for these buns? 1 bun is 176 calories, 15 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat, 1.5 total carbs. The carbs come from the eggs and the 1 teaspoon of guar gum. It is 60% fat from calories. For those of you that are doing the high-fat carnivore along with me, you would obviously be wanting to add a lot of butter to these buns when you're eating it. And that's not a bad thing, is it? I'm gonna get a plate and we're gonna take one out and see how it is. Okay. Let's see how these look. Oh, I'm liking the looks of them. They smell buttery. And of course that's going to be all the luscious butter that's inside. Okay, so it is still warm. Look at that steam going off of there. I am going to, I'm going to be saving this one for part of my dinner, but I have to try a little piece, so I'm going to tear a piece off. I'm going to try it without the butter, added butter first. It's really good. But let's add some butter. I mean, it is so bread-like. I mean, I just cannot get over how bread-like it is when you add the frozen butter. Oh man, it's gonna be good. Oh, the dogs are after me now. Delicious. The other thing I like about these buns is that they're actually really good the next day. Like this whole frozen butter thing and all the little holes that you have in there. Tomorrow these buns will be really good as well. And they won't be as sticky because we did spread the butter over top. So I like how that works. You could also do an egg. You could brush an egg over top. But I was trying to add more butter into the mix here. So yeah, so there you go. These will be good for, I have some clean hot dogs in the fridge, and so that was my intent with these, to use up those hot dogs. But yeah, you can just slather them with butter and eat them. I mean, you know, maybe I'm going to do that for my dinner tonight and save the rest of these for hot dogs. So there you have it. And like I said, check out the Rotary Grater. The link is below. Thank you, Geedel, for sending me one. Thank you, Snuggle Puss, for sending me one. And I'll have to figure out what to do with that other one. And hope to see you guys on the next video. Take care until next time.
Let's try it with a few because I don't actually need any right now. Oh, yeah, look at that. All right. I'm trying to crunch a bunch in here. Otherwise, it would just take too long to. There we go. Oops. All right, what are we gonna do? You're gonna. We're gonna make fun. No, we're not. All right, so I'm gonna just crunch a bunch in there. See, I'm not very mechanically inclined. I admit it.